I feel like we see that though, like going back to the elderly woman, and we're talking like 60s, 70s, 80s. If you see someone who needs help, but I feel like the children of the youth rush past them too, right? Like you can see, you can go to Kroger and stand in line and watch people and see how frustrated they get with the person in front of them taking too long, or right, like we just rush past that. I feel like we don't even have respect for our elders anymore.
I totally agree. I 100% agree. Yeah. And that was why the lady at the airport, and she was older, she was tiny too though, like teeny tiny. So I don't know what's going on. It's just, we've got to get back to just paying attention and being, now for me, I'm going to gravitate towards those people anyway. And I keep, me, I keep my circle really, really, really small. And actually my friend Jessica said that the other night. We were talking about introverts and extroverts and everything. And she's like, you're actually the probably introvertedest extrovert ever. I'm like, I am, because like I'm out there, I'll do media, I'll do speaking all day long. But my people is really super small. Yeah. Super, super small. But they're all people like this. They're all people that I really want.
Yeah. Well, sure is values. It comes down to sharing. Yeah. Sharing the same values.
Yeah. And it's just, I love when I see that from other people. I'm sad for the kids, because I did ask Mia about this. I said, what do you think about, holding doors and all this? She goes, I don't care. I can open my own door. And it was an apathetic response, which I was a little mad. I don't know if she's listening right now because she's in class, but I was like, come on. And to me, it's not about weakness. And this is what I want everybody to understand with chivalry and with all this. I am not saying that we need to go back to, because chivalry started because I went to the Google yesterday with the knights, because you were sending me memes of all kind of the knights. So chivalry started with the knights, but if you really look up what it is, it was honor, it was respect. Yeah. Those were the whole principles that chivalry was founded on. And the history of it was for people that were, I don't want to say weaker, but not in the same position, not as strong. But that goes back to charity, that goes back to everything.
Well, and even the word, we could look up the word courting and where exactly that came from. Yes. But you court someone you want to date, but you also court them in friendship, or court them because they're a human being and they're coming through the door and their hands are full, and just hold it open.
It doesn't, I agree. And that's what I mean, because it doesn't have to be a dating thing. I know that's where it originated, but I went, for those of you guys not in Atlanta, we have a area of town here called the Greenway. The Greenway is a long stretch where you can just walk and hike and do all kind of stuff. It's just flat. You can ride bikes. So a friend of mine called on Sunday and said, hey, I'm going to go for a walk on the Greenway. Do you want to go? And you know me, being the exercise person that I am, I was like, oh, crap. Yes, I'll go. But I did. So we went for a walk, and this is a guy friend. And so we go for a walk, and this is not a date. It's just a friend, somebody I've known a long time. And so we start walking, and then all the bikes whip by on this trail. So we're walking, and I happen to be in the inside, and bikes were coming by us, and he just moved. He says, trade places with me. He goes, I'd rather put you. It wasn't a date. It was just because he's a bigger guy than I am. It was safer for me to be away from the bikes whirling by us. Yep. That's not because I'm this weak little dainty flower. I've never been called a dainty flower before. No one's going to mistake me for that. But I thought it was super nice. I was like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I did. Yep. And then it got me, that was another one of the instances that got me thinking, because it was just second nature to him. He goes, why don't you walk on the inside? I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was kind. I mean, that's really what it is. So when I looked up chivalry, it said included courage, honor, loyalty, justice, good manners, and generosity, especially those less fortunate than oneself. So less fortunate doesn't mean money. It doesn't mean aid. It could mean any of those things. You never know.
That's good.
But these are things where I don't know. Maybe we should start a chivalry squad. I'm not saying we need to go back to the days of the gentleman callers stopping in the parlor in our mansion, because I saw that on Green Acres. You won't remember Green Acres.
I do know Green Acres.
No, not Green Acres. Not Green Acres. Beverly Hillbillies. Beverly Hillbillies, when they struck oil.
With the grandma but they had in the rocking chair.
Yes, they had they had a parlor, and that's where the gentleman callers. I'm not talking about we go back to that, or we go back to like Leave It to Beaver type of thing. I'm just saying, be nice.
Yeah.
One of the things, now there's one thing, and I'll say this because I have 3 daughters, and I'm curious on this. All right, when I got engaged, my ex-husband did not ask my dad for permission, quote unquote, to ask for my hand in marriage. That's old school. Did Isaac ask your parents?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
100% without me knowing.
Okay, so Sean never did, because that wasn't, now he was not raised in the South, he was raised in the Midwest. So I don't know if this is still a thing.
And maybe that is, yeah.
So maybe it's a Southern thing. I was not happy. Like, I was mad about it. And I know my dad never said anything. But I know my dad. He's a Southern gentleman. He was not happy with it. And so I had this conversation with my daughter, my oldest, and she's in her 20s, and she's like, I don't need any, I mean, she's not engaged or anything, but I was like, I would expect. And she goes, it's my life. I don't need anybody's permission for it. And I'm like, oh, no, you didn't, but she did.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I that's another chivalry thing to me. Maybe I'm on the minority in this one too.
It's, again, and you can't take it as Isaac could have gone to my dad and said, I'm going to ask for your daughter's hand. My dad could have said no, and I could have said yes. Obviously, that's not what happened. We both said yes.
Right.
It's a respect for the fact that my father gave me life, thank you very much, of how I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for he and my mother.
Yes.
And he raised me for the first half of my life. Like, okay, maybe y'all don't want to hear this. 9 times out of 10, your father knows if the guy that you are dating and that is asking for your hand is worthy of such a thing.